What it do, my homie? Today in this video, we are going to talk about Alligator Creek in New Braunfels and how it got that name, and also what aquifer it interacts with. Alligator Creek in Guadalupe and southeastern Comal County, Texas, interacts with several key aquifer systems, particularly in the context of recharge, discharge, and potential subsurface connectivity. Here's a breakdown of the aquifers it most likely interacts with. 1. Edwards, Balcones Fault Zone. Aquifer location: underlies western and central Guadalupe County and much of Comal County. Interaction with Alligator Creek, recharge zone. Proximity: Alligator Creek flows near or across portions of the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone, particularly in its headwaters region, southeast of New Braunfels. Limestone karst terrain: the creek's upper stretches may lose water to the subsurface through fractures and faults in the limestone, feeding the Edwards Aquifer. Karst features: if sinkholes or fissures are present along the creek, direct recharge could occur. Upper Trinity Aquifer and possibly Lower Trinity. Location: below the Edwards Aquifer in the stratigraphic sequence. Interaction: in areas where the Edwards is thin or absent, the Trinity aquifers can be locally recharged or interact with surface water. If Alligator Creek cuts into older rock layers due to incision, it might indirectly contribute water to the Trinity aquifers via vertical leakage or fault-driven percolation. Pheleona gravel and alluvial aquifers location: along river and creek valleys throughout Guadalupe County. Interaction: in its lower reaches, Alligator Creek flows over alluvium and gravel deposits which store shallow groundwater. These unconfined alluvial aquifers are hydraulically connected to surface water and can both receive and discharge water depending on seasonal flows and saturation levels. Carrizo-Wilcox Aquifer, possible deep interaction. Location: farther east into Guadalupe County. Interaction: while unlikely to directly interact with Alligator Creek at shallow levels, deeper portions of the watershed may overlie this confined aquifer. Vertical leakage over long time scales or deep faulting could theoretically allow some hydraulic connection in eastern portions of the creek basin. Summary table: aquifer system type likely interaction. Notes: Edwards BFZ karst high, in upper reaches, recharge via fractures, fissures. Trinity, upper lower, sandstone, limestone, moderate, indirect. Beneath Edwards, vertical leakage possible, alluvial aquifer unconfined high, in lower reaches. Strong creek interaction: Carrizo-Wilcox confined low, deep, possible interaction only far downstream. Conclusion: Alligator Creek most strongly interacts with the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone near its upper headwaters, southeastern Comal County, the alluvial aquifers in its lower, flatter reaches in Guadalupe County. An alluvial aquifer, in the context of Alligator Creek and the Edwards Aquifer system, refers to a shallow, unconfined groundwater system composed of loose sediments, like sand, gravel, silt, and clay, that have been deposited over time by flowing water along stream channels and floodplains. Alluvial aquifer, definition and composition: alluvium, unconsolidated sediments deposited by a river or stream. An alluvial aquifer is a saturated zone within this alluvium, where groundwater can accumulate and move freely. Alluvial aquifers along Alligator Creek and Alligator Creek's lower reaches, Guadalupe County. The creek flows through a flat, low-lying landscape. Over time, flood events from Alligator Creek and nearby waterways like Geronimo Creek have deposited thick layers of alluvium. Water from rainfall or upstream flow can infiltrate these sediments and recharge the alluvial aquifer. These aquifers are highly permeable, meaning water flows easily through them. Connection between alluvial and Edwards aquifers. In some areas, vertical leakage or hydraulic connectivity can occur. If Alligator Creek's alluvial aquifer lies above faulted or fractured zones, e.g., in or near the recharge zone, water can seep downward and recharge the Edwards aquifer. Conversely, base flow from the Edwards aquifer, via springs or fractures, can feed the alluvium and keep creeks flowing during dry periods. Analogy: think of the alluvial aquifer as a sponge near the surface, soaking up and slowly releasing water into Alligator Creek. Think of the Edwards Aquifer as a giant Swiss cheese deeper underground, holding immense water in its caves and tunnels, but requiring surface water, like from Alligator Creek, to keep it full in the recharge zone. Key takeaway. In the Alligator Creek Edwards Aquifer system, the alluvial aquifer acts as a temporary water storage and flow regulator. It interacts dynamically with both surface water and, in some zones, the deeper Edwards Aquifer, especially where fractured limestone or faults connect the two systems.